les États parties. Monsieur le Président.
Give the floor to India.
Thank you, Chair. I don't want to prolong this discussion, but the inclusion of criterion 6, I think, reflects the sense of the House. And I think that should be an integral part of the resolution. Thank you, Chair.
No more comment, no opposition. So I invite the committee member to adopt the revised text. So the revised text is adopted. Dear colleague, you see now we still have one more difficult item. You see, the item concerning the old city of Jerusalem. Yes. During several days, I did my utmost. I made many efforts to promote understanding between all parties concerned by the old city of Jerusalem and its wall as a property inscribed on the World Heritage List. But I did not succeed. Our philosophy is to avoid vote. But now I realized that we did not succeed is to get consensus. So I regret that we cannot avoid the vote now. I give the floor to Estonia and Algeria, please.
Thank you, Chairman. I would like to make from Estonian delegation. Yes, the point of order. Yes,
Algeria, please.
Yes, to make the proposed.
Point of order. C'est bien d'être à la première table, mais souvent, on regarde au loin. Nous avons demandé la parole. Nous avons fait donc un projet de décision des amendements que nous avons soumis et nous sommes porteurs de cet amendement. Il me semble que la parole doit être donnée aux porteurs de l'amendement en premier lieu. Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Sonia, you have the floor. You have the floor.
Thank you. Thank you. I would like to propose from Estonian delegation the adjournment of debate on this matter, and just to save your time, then in case somebody would like to have a vote on that, then I propose to have a secret ballot. Thank you.
Floor to Algerie, please.
Merci, Monsieur le Président. Vous m'excuserez d'intervenir sur un temps quelque peu inhabituel sur ce dossier précis. Nous voyons bien que toutes les démarches et sollicitations, toutes les bonnes volontés se sont exprimées et toutes les alternatives épuisées. Nous sommes devant une impasse, devant un cul-de-sac. Et nous ne pouvons aller plus loin au nom de notre crédibilité. Monsieur le Président, au nom de la raison et du bon sens, nous demandons la clôture du débat et aller au vote par appel nominal sur l'ensemble et sans division du projet de décision proposé par l'Algérie, les Émirats arabes unis, l'Irak et le Qatar. Merci, Monsieur le Président.
Je pense que les débats provoquent plus d'hostilité, plus de malentendus. Je propose aux membres de notre comité de faire un vote sans débat. Point of order, please.
Thank you, Chairperson. We would like to know all the countries that they have put their names on the amendment, please. They are not all of them inscribed on the amendment, on the draft, on the project.
Your advisor, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. As I understand it, there have been two proposals put forth. One is a proposal by Estonia for the adjournment of the debate. That's Rule 31. Any state may move the adjournment of the debate, and the state has to indicate whether the state moves the adjournment sine die to a particular time. And in addition, one speaker has to support and one has to talk against. At the same time, there has been a motion by Algeria for closure of the debate. That is Rule 32. It's the right of any state member of the committee to move for the closure of the debate, whether or not any other speaker has intended his wish to take part in the discussion. And if an application is made for permission to speak against the closure, it can be accorded to no more than two speakers. But the chair then puts the vote for the motion for closure, and if the committee is in favor of the motion, the debate is closed. These two motions have to be voted in a procedural order. You have to vote according to Rule 33. The vote on adjournment of the debate has to be voted on before the motion for closure of the debate. And for that purpose, you only require, for the motion to pass, you require a simple majority. Thank you, Mr. President.
Je pense que pour commencer, il faut décider sur la clôture de débat ou non. Oui, voter sur la proposition d'adjournment. Donc, je propose de voter par les mains levées, sinon comment on va voter? Point d'ordre, s'il vous plaît.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Chairperson. We just want to have some clarity. The legal advisor just told us that we first have to vote on the closure of the debate. No. Is it not so? Adjournment of what? Of the debate? What are we adjourning the debate without closing the debate? We are adjourning the debate.
Adjournment. Legal advisor.
Just to clarify to the delegation of South Africa, there are two different motions. One is to adjourn the debate. That is to say, you don't discuss anymore, and you adjourn to, you you put a time or to the next meeting. The other motion is to close the debate and proceed to a vote. And there are two different types of motions. One precedes the other. Thank you.
Point of order, please, Estonia.
Well, just to clarify that, I think that adjournment under Rule 30 and then to the next meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairperson. South Africa opposes the closure or the adjournment of the debate, and we call for a vote by show of hands in terms of determining whether the committee agrees to adjourn or not. South Africa opposes adjournment. Thank you, Chair.
Le vote among le oui, si on veut supporter l'adjournement, levez les mains. Adjournement to the next session, levez les mains. Et il n'y a pas de mains levées. Donc,
raise the plaque.
Oui, donc il n'y a pas. Il est clair qu'il n'y a pas les supporters de l'adjournement.
No. You have to ask again.
No, it was not clear.
Alors je demande à nos membres du comité de lever les mains s'ils supportent l'adjournement.
Point of order.
S'il vous plaît.
I just wanted to draw your attention to the fact that I asked for a secret ballot, and just to make sure that if there is no one else supporting me, then I should ask that first. Okay.
S'il vous plaît.
Merci, j'ai levé ma plaque pour soutenir l'ajournement et s'il le faut, je suis prêt à soutenir mon collègue estonien à ce sujet, ayant compris que l'ajournement demandé, c'était jusqu'à la prochaine séance seulement.
The floor.
نحن نثني على ما اقترحه جنوب أفريقيا ونطلب التصويت برفع الأيدي. خلاص.
Okay, donc je décide vote by raising hand. Yes.
Very clearly that who is in support of
closing. Pour la deuxième fois. Alors pour les membres du comité qui supportent l'ajournement de la session, comme a proposé l'Estonie, lève les mains. Oui.
point of order, Swiss.
La Suisse, point of order.
Yes, indeed, Mr. Chairman, it is a point of order. Nous n'avons pas l'habitude de gêner les débats, mais notre collègue estonien, sur cette question, a demandé un vote secret. Nous l'avons appuyé. Et donc, je pense que nous voudrions l'avoir. Merci.
Oui, deux pays demandent le vote secret. Non, on procède en vote secret.
Yeah, vote secret.
OK, vote secret.
Can they now put a point of order?
Nous disons pour vote secret.
Sénégal.
Il n'y a pas.
Sénégal.
La Sénégal, please.
Je vous remercie, Monsieur le Président. Je pense que jusqu'ici, le débat a porté sur la question de savoir s'il fallait ajourner le débat ou pas. La question de savoir quelle procédure il fallait utiliser pour le vote n'a pas encore été discutée. Et s'il faut faire une proposition dans ce sens et s'il faut voter, le Sénégal propose qu'on procède à un vote par appel nominatif. Je vous remercie.
Si juridique va expliquer plus clairement ce que propose l'Estonie.
I'm sorry. Thank you, Mr. President. I'm sorry to take the floor again. Let's see if I am clear. There have been two motions made. There's a first motion made by Estonia, that it's a motion for adjournment of what we're debating. And then there is a second motion that is for the closure of the debate that has been made by South Africa. According to your rules, the procedural rules of the committee first has to vote on the motion to adjourn. That there has been a request by Switzerland and by Estonia to do this vote by secret ballot. So you will have to vote first on whether you wish to adjourn the debate and then the debate. If you wish to adjourn the debate on this matter, and that decision has to be taken by a simple majority. If that motion does not succeed, that is to say, if the motion by Estonia fails and there is no agreement by the committee to adjourn, the committee will then proceed to vote on the DR, which is the motion for closure of the debate. A motion for closure of the debate means that you vote on the matter without debate. And that is also adopted by simple majority. But you have to vote First, on the first motion by Estonia to adjourn. I repeat, that's the first vote, and it's by secret ballot because 2 states have requested for that vote, and under Rule 41 of the committee, a decision has to be voted on by secret ballot when 2 states members requests or if the chairman decides. So, Mr. President, I suggest that you first proceed to a secret ballot on the first motion by Estonia in accordance with the rules. Thank you, Mr. President.
Guy again, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson. I would like to thank the legal advisor for the advice that she's just given us. The point that South Africa was making, Estonia asked for adjournment, South Africa and Estonia asked for a secret ballot supported by Switzerland. That is correct. South Africa opposed the adjournment and asked for open ballot supported by Iraq. Can the legal advisor please give us an indication how to solve this issue when both these are decided, because both of these are provided for in the rules of procedure? So can we turn to the legal advisor and ask her guidance as to how to proceed? Thank you, Chair.
Mr. President, I'm sorry to take the floor again. If I understand South Africa correctly, and please correct me if I did not understand you correctly, what you have stated is that there are 2 states that have requested for secret ballot, and there are 2 states that have requested for a roll call vote. Is that correct? So then, when a situation like this happens, it is the committee that is the master of its procedures. And so, unfortunately, the committee will have to determine first whether it wishes to vote by secret ballot or whether it wishes to vote by roll call. The first proposal was made by Estonia, so first the committee should decide. May I finish? The committee has to decide on what method of voting it wishes to use. So if the request for secret ballot was made, you should vote first on whether you go by secret ballot and then whether you want to go by roll call. Thank you, Mr. President.
Si le comité doit décider, on organise encore un vote.
Point of order, Germany.
Germany, point of order, please.
I would like to draw the attention of the distinguished legal advisor on Rule 41 of the Rules of Procedure, secret ballot, and I read out, a decision shall be voted on by secret ballot whenever, and I repeat, whenever, 2 or more states members shall so request, or if the chairperson so decides. Thank you.
Legal advisor, please.
Mr. President, thank you very much. With respect to the delegation of Germany, I am very well aware of the rule, but this committee has a practice, and I have the practice of the committee in front of me, and when there are concurrent requests, and I'm reading for past practice from the practice of voting in my office, when there are concurrent requests for a vote by roll call and a vote by secret ballot, the committee must decide on how to vote, and that vote has to be taken by a simple majority. Thank you.
South Africa, point of order, please.
Thank you, Chair. And we concur with what the legal advisor just said, because just to avoid any confusion, can we also point to Rule 40.3, which states, a vote by a roll call shall also be taken if it is requested by not less than 2 states members before the voting takes place. So this is why we have the situation. We have 2 rules that basically talk against each other. We need to resolve that and then move on to that. That's why, and we concur with what the legal advisor has said. Thank you, Chair.
Legal advice.
Senegal, point of order, please.
Merci, Monsieur le Président. En effet, je pense que le représentant de l'Afrique du Sud a soulevé une question très pertinente. Je crois que lorsqu'on regarde les dispositions des articles, de l'article 40.3 et de l'article 41, il me semble qu'il y a une ambiguïté qui n'est pas résolue. C'est un point sans doute sur lequel le comité aura à se pencher lors des prochaines sessions. Mais comme l'a dit justement, mais en l'absence de cette clarté, comme l'a rappelé très justement le Conseil juridique, il y a une pratique. Et à mon avis, je pense que cette pratique à force de loi, et il convient de suivre la pratique en la matière. Merci.
Now there are too much point of order, you see. How to do? If we go on point of order like this, you see, we cannot work. I asked our committee member, you see, to make the point of order only when necessary. Estonia, please. Again, yes, again and again, Estonia.
Well, I'm terribly sorry to take the floor again, but my reading is very clear that the decision we are going to vote on will be on adjournment, and this is going to be done according to Rule 41 in a sense that if two member states ask for the secret ballot, it has to be secret ballot. I can't sort of interpret it in any other way, but
Mr. President, I don't know how to be clearer. I'm sorry if the rules of procedure of the committee are confusing. Everything would be very simple if it was just one motion and if the rules said the same. But there have been states who have requested a secret ballot, and there have states that have requested a roll call vote. And in that case, you, as a committee, have to decide which is the method of voting that you wish for that proposal. That is not my invention now. It is in the practice of the Office of Legal Affairs that I have in front of me of how vote should be conducted. So, since there are concurrent requests for a vote, one for secret ballot and one for roll call, then the committee has to determine now whether it wishes to proceed by a roll call or by secret ballot. Thank you, Mr. President.
I think now the only way is I ask the committee member how many want the secret ballot, how many want the roll call. And now I ask for secret ballot. How many want the secret ballot? Please raise your hand. Raise your plate. Raise your plate.
And keep raised.
2, 3, 4,
Ask them to keep it raised.
5, 6, 6 only. Yeah?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. Please keep your plaques raised so that we can count them. Thank you. Thank you.
Now I ask again, how many committee members like the roll call? Okay, thank you.
Now you to ask how many want to abstain.
Now I ask the third question. How many committee members want to abstain? So now the majority is asking for the roll call. Yeah. So we proceed with the roll call.
Kishore, do you want me to? Thank you, Mr. President. Okay, so the committee now has decided that it will proceed to a vote by roll call. The first vote is to see whether the first motion, the motion by Estonia, will be adopted or not. So the motion by Estonia is to adjourn the debate on this matter and until the next session. And the procedure to whether to adopt or to reject the motion has to be taken by simple majority. The voting will be by the process of a roll call vote. Thank you, Mr. President.
Invite the director of the center, Mr. Kishore Rao, to proceed for the roll call. Your order again, please.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to know what the question is and if it can be put up on the screen to avoid confusion and to make sure that we vote correctly. Thank you, Chair.
You can put the question on the screen, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. In response to what, for the suggestion or the request by the delegation of India, I think the matter that the committee is voting upon is on the screen. Remember that these are two procedural motions, so this is the first procedural motion. Are you in favor of the adjournment of the debate on this item now? And this, in order for this motion to pass, it has to pass by a simple majority of members present and voting, and it will be taken by a roll call, so the Secretariat will call upon the individual member states to vote. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President. I will call out the names of the state parties to the committee. Please answer yes or no to the question that is on the screen. Is that clear? Please answer yes or no to the question. Algeria.
No.
Cambodia.
No.
Colombia.
Abstention.
Abstention. Estonia. Ethiopia. Mike, please.
Yes.
Okay. France. Germany.
Yes.
India.
No.
Iraq.
No.
Japan.
Yes.
Malaysia. Mali.
No.
Sorry, Mali.
No.
Mexico.
Sí.
Qatar.
La, no.
Russian Federation.
No.
Senegal.
No.
Serbia.
Abstention.
South Africa.
No.
Switzerland.
Oui.
Thailand.
Abstention.
United Arab Emirates.
La.
No.
No.
Mr. President, with your permission, I would like to announce the results of the voting on the question of adjournment. There were 17 committee members who were present and voting, and 11 voted against the motion. So the majority is against the motion that was before you. Mr. President, you would now have to vote on the next motion, which was for closure of the debate. Thank you, Mr. President.
S'il vous plaît, l'Afrique du Sud.
Thank you, Chair. Before we go to the vote, we would like to save some time for the committee. And maybe if you put it to the committee in terms of the draft decision without us having to vote on it, to indicate that we adopt the draft decision and that those states parties who have a difficulty with it express their reservation. Maybe if we test the floor and see if that proposal works. If not, otherwise we have to go to a vote. But in order to save some time and not to continue with all this voting, we'd like to make that proposal just to be of assistance. Thank you, Chair.
I call on Russia, please.
Уважаемые коллеги, я чисто по процессуальному вопросу. Мне кажется, во-первых, было предложение, не обсуждая, голосовать и голосовать поименным голосованием. Потому что мы прекрасно знаем, что этот текст невозможно согласовать в таком виде. Поэтому и мы придерживаемся разных мнений. Поэтому я предлагаю, не открывая никаких обсуждений, перейти к голосованию поименно.
I ask some precision from Russia again. Russia, please. I can see you ask for the roll call vote, but roll call vote directly on the draft of the resolution?
Да, прямо по проекту резолюции, которую предложили вот страны, где Алжир, Ирак, Катар, Эмираты, мы тоже поддержали эту резолюцию. Поэтому обсуждать здесь нечего. Мы знаем, что мнения абсолютно противоположные.
Oui, sans rejoindre l'idée de l'Afrique du Sud. Oui, on va directement au vote sur le draft de résolution.
Thank you, Mr. President. The suggestion is to vote on agenda item 7A, point 26, the draft resolution that has been introduced by a number of countries and which has been already circulated to all members of the committee. Is this clear? And the vote has been requested by 2 members of the committee to be made by roll call. So again, I will call out the names of the members of the committee, the names of the countries of the members of the committee, and please specify whether you are in favor or against this draft resolution, or if you wish to abstain. Thank you very much. Shall we proceed now? Is there any question, or shall we proceed? Thank you very much. Algeria,
Oui.
Cambodia, abstention. Colombia,
Abstention.
Estonia,
No.
Ethiopia,
Abstention.
France, Germany,
No.
India,
Yes.
Iraq,
Yes.
Japan,
Abstention.
Malaysia, Mali,
Oui.
Mexico,
Abstención.
Qatar, Russian
None.
Federation, Senegal,
Oui.
Serbia,
Abstention.
South Africa,
Yes.
Switzerland,
No.
Thailand,
Abstention.
United Arab Emirates.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you, President. There were 13 members of the committee who voted. 10 of them said yes and 3 no. There were 8 abstentions. So the majority have voted in favor of the draft resolution.
In my capacity as a chairman of the committee, I like to make a statement like this. During several days, I made my effort to promote understanding between all parties concerned by the old city of Jerusalem and its walls as a property inscribed in the World Heritage List. Unfortunately, I did not have the possibility to reach a consensus based on which a draft decision would be prepared and submitted to the committee. However, in my capacity as a chairperson and with full support of the member of the committee, I would like to request the implementation of the joint WAC/ICOMOS reactive monitoring mission to the old city of Jerusalem and its wall as soon as possible, in conformity with the past relevant decision of this committee. Finally, I warmly thank the Director General of UNESCO for her effort and initiative on this matter. On behalf of the committee, I would like to bring to her attention that necessary measures need to be undertaken to send the mission and to submit the present statement to the Executive Board or UNESCO for the record. For the record. End of the statement, please. Al is asking the floor. Yeah, you have the floor, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson. Mr. Chairperson, Excellencies, distinguished delegates. To begin with, Israel would like to thank the Kingdom of Cambodia for its warm welcoming and hospitality. We would also like to thank the Kingdom of Cambodia for its good intentions to facilitate a dialogue between the concerned parties. Time and again, Israel strives to depoliticize UNESCO. Since the last executive board of UNESCO, Israel, together with the indispensable help of its close friends from the United States of America and other member states, has provided the Palestinians with viable options to allow the implementation of the technical mission of 4 experts to the old city of Jerusalem and its walls. Let us recall that on 16 May 2013, only a few days before the members of the mission were expected in Israel, the Palestinians unveiled their true intentions to politicize the mission, severely violate, I repeat, severely violate the agreement between the concerned parties, and turn their back at the fragile trust given to them by member states of UNESCO. Despite the blunt violations of and politicization by the Palestinians, Israel was willing to favor the conservation and preservation of the old city of Jerusalem in particular, and the protection of the important values of the organization as a whole. The outcome of Israel's continuous goodwill efforts lies in front of you at this very moment. Passing once more a fabricated political decision against Israel, which portrays nothing but the outstanding creative writing skills and unique sense of imagination of both Palestinians and Jordanians, bears devastating ramifications on the future of UNESCO. It is rather unfortunate that in such a critical point in time for UNESCO, the Palestinians and their active partner consciously choose to undermine the core values and identity of this organization to an extent that would certainly lead to its final destruction. Thank you.
I give the floor to Jordani, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, my delegation expresses its appreciation and gratitude to the government and people of Cambodia for hosting this 37th session and for their kind hospitality and generosity. The Jordanian and Palestinians, and indeed the Arab position in previous sessions, as well as in this 37th, was to exhaust all possible amicable venues prior to submitting a draft decision on the old city of Jerusalem and its walls, a site proposed by Jordan in 1981, or putting it to a vote. Jordan regrets, however, that we find ourselves at the stalemate we are in. Jordan squarely blames Israel for the failure of the reactive monitoring mission, which could not see the light due to last-minute new conditions imposed by Israel on the delegation's mandate as stipulated in the Brasilia decision. What we deem is that Israel regretfully has politicized the process by placing new preconditions on the mission itself, namely by seeking to limit it to pre-specified sites, contrary to the legal reference of the mission as stipulated in the World Heritage Committee Decision 34, 7A20, adopted by acclamation in Brasilia. Moreover, Israel not only failed to honor its own letter of guarantees to admit the mission in accordance to the Brasilia decision as embodied in the agreement reached last April through decision EX 191/9 adopted by consensus, but it also rejected the proposals forwarded by His Excellency the President of the Conference, whom we thank for having exerted all efforts to broker an acceptable solution. We also thank Dr. Munir Bushnaqi, trying to mediate on behalf of Director General Bulkova between concerned delegations. Finally, Jordan thanks all member states that have voted in favor of this draft decision, which comes at a time of dramatic, heightened Israeli violations against the heritage of the old city of Jerusalem and the great damages being done to its authenticity, integrity, and sanctity. Jordan also calls upon member states who have voted against the decision or abstained to reconsider their position in the future. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Merci, Monsieur le Président. Je ne répondrai pas à l'intervention apocalyptique du représentant d'Israël. Nous sommes habitués à ce genre de description extrêmement inquiétante et surtout extrêmement irréelle. Je voudrais simplement dire que la résolution que nous avons proposée et qui a été votée est une résolution qui ne sort en aucun point des champs de compétences de l'UNESCO. Donc nous sommes tout à fait dans les règles et tout à fait dans les lignes. Je voudrais également dire ma tristesse. Je ne suis pas choqué, je suis triste. Quand je vois des États respectables être si soucieux des atteintes à l'intégrité des sites, je pense notamment à certaines remarques que j'ai entendues concernant Bolgar, alors qu'un train circule à 2 mètres des remparts de Jérusalem depuis des années et que personne n'aborde cette question, sans doute faut-il penser que tous les sites sont égaux, mais certains sites sont moins égaux que d'autres. Je voudrais également dire autre chose. Cela fait 3 ans que les partis arabes, et notamment la Jordanie et la Palestine, font la concession positive, constructive, de reporter les demandes. Nous n'avons pas, aujourd'hui, inventé une nouvelle demande. Ça fait 3 ans que nous donnons l'occasion à l'État d'Israël d'appliquer les conventions qu'il dit avoir signées, qu'il dit être assujetti à leur respect et qu'il ne respecte pas. Aujourd'hui, ce que nous avons présenté n'est que le fait que nous ne pouvions plus attendre. Et là, je pense, et je pèse mes mots, à l'irresponsabilité de certains qui, après 3 ans de reprise et de report, viennent de demander ou de tenter de demander une année supplémentaire de report, alors que la situation sur le terrain ne cesse de s'aggraver et d'aller vers le désastre pour les peuples concernés. Si cela est de la politique, de se soucier des situations, alors oui, c'est de la politique, mais ça n'en est pas. Nous sommes en train, avec une politique délibérée, de faire les autruches, de fermer nos yeux sur les violations, sous prétexte de ne pas politiser, d'aider exactement au pourrissement de la situation. Je voudrais également dire une chose. Le fait que cette résolution a été votée, le fait qu'elle soit admise, ne remet en rien notre demande absolue que la mission parte sur les lieux. Nous n'avons pas modifié les règles. Nous n'avons pas inventé de nouvelles conditions avant que la délégation ne parte. Ce n'est pas nous qui avons fait cela. Et personne, plus que nous, n'a intérêt à ce qu'une mission aille à Jérusalem, voir une mission technique, voir exactement ce qui se passe dans la ville. Personne ne peut se renchérir sur ce point. Nous sommes les premiers concernés, nous sommes les 2 pays occupés, et nous avons besoin que des témoins neutres, de tierces parties, des techniciens, des experts internationaux aillent sur le terrain voir ce que nous ne pouvons pas voir. Je terminerai par des remerciements à tous ceux qui n'ont pas accepté de céder à ce chantage, de ne pas accepter au fait de fermer les yeux sur ce qui se passe. Heureusement qu'ils ont eu ce courage. Je ne crois pas qu'ils soient sortis de la mission de l'UNESCO. Au contraire, ils lui ont donné toute sa noblesse. Et je voudrais finir par dire à quel point nous sommes touchés et extrêmement émus par l'accueil qui nous a été réservé par le peuple cambodgien. Nous nous sentons chez nous depuis que nous sommes arrivés. Donc je voudrais vous remercier, Monsieur le Président, au nom de mon peuple, de l'accueil que vous nous avez réservé, de la gentillesse de votre peuple et du fait que pas un instant nous nous sommes sentis dans un pays étranger, nous sommes sentis chez nous. Pour tout cela, merci pour votre hospitalité. Merci, monsieur.
We are almost 8 o'clock p.m. I think we are late, but we all, I think, did fulfill a very important task. So now I would like to adjourn this evening session. And tomorrow we will start our morning session at 9:30. Thank you very much. The session is adjourned. Secretary has some announcement, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. There is still work going on. The budget group will meet now in 10 minutes in the bureau room. Then, please, colleagues, put it up on the screen. The list of participants is ready. I encourage you to check it online. Please put it up on the screen. We have also a questionnaire which you may wish to fill out on the organization of the session. Then there are 2 side events. One is an invitation by Spain on the 5th World Heritage Youth Forum, which is in a Champai room on the 3rd floor starting now. And the other one is a book launch and the compact engaging local communities in the stewardship of World Heritage, 4th floor, room 1 and 2 now. Thank you very much.